We are back for immune system. Okay, so your immune system has multiple lines of defense. This 21.3 again is from another textbook, but again, the information is good. The body's first line of defense against pathogens includes physical, chemical, and biological barriers to keep pathogens out of the body. If you keep the pathogens out of your body, you don't have to fight them inside the body. If pathogens do manage to enter the body's second line of defense attacks them, and this includes inflammation, phagocytosis, and fever. All right, so first up, the innate immune system. So you're going to want to copy down this heading of, this is Chapter 7, Lesson 32. Okay. Your body's first line of defense includes the skin and other barriers to keep pathogens out of the body. Okay. Most body fluids that quick editing. All right. Most body fluids that you release from your body contain chemicals that kill pathogens. Mucus, sweat, tears, all these things have enzymes called lysozymes. These are enzymes that kill pathogens. Another big thing, you don't think about it, but harmless bacteria that live on your skin, they compete with space and food with the bad bacteria. So by taking up space, they don't provide a place for bad bacteria to live. So, there's bacteria on your skin all the time, and there always will be. Okay, you can scrub down and from head to toe all you want, and maybe it'll be clean for a few hours. Okay, but there's always going to be bacteria. But that's a good thing because again, they compete and limit the amount of new or harmful bacteria that can start living on your skin. But you should still wash your hands. Okay. Now, in your lungs, you have cilia, and this is a picture of the cilia through a microscope, possibly an electron microscope. They sway back and forth, and they sweep mucus and pathogens out of the lungs. So when you're sick and you're coughing up mucus, that's what the cilia do. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's part of the process of your body trying to rid itself of that infection. All right, 7.33. So Chapter 7, Lesson 33, Inflammatory Response. Now, in the previous video, we watched a video about inflammation. This is the second line of defense. Okay, inflammation is caused by chemicals released by broken or damaged tissue, and they signal for the capillaries and blood vessels to dilate or expand. That allows more blood flow to the area. So it's going to look red and it's going to feel warm because the extra heat from the extra blood flow. They also signal white blood cells to come, and those white blood cells are going to help clean up any bacteria that got in through the broken skin. They can... I don't know what I was doing when I was typing these things. All right. They also call neutrophils to the site. Neutrophils can pass through the vessel walls, and again, they help fight and clean up the bacteria before it can cause major infection. Again, this is one of those things where inflammation is not itself automatically a bad thing as part of the healing process. Now, inflammation can cause problems if it's there because it's an autoimmune disease, or it can cause pain and swelling. So you might need to regulate it some, but it's like shivering when you're cold. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but you probably want to take care of whatever's causing it. Right? If you're cold and you're shivering, you want to find warmth. You want to put on a coat. You want to go somewhere where it's not cold. If you have inflammation, then that might be a sign that maybe you have a splinter and you need to remove that splinter. Or maybe you have a hurt ankle and you need to see a doctor or put an ACE bandage or something on it. Okay. White blood cells attack pathogens. They're called phagocytes. Phago means eat, cyte means cell. So a phagocyte is a cell that eats other cells. So white blood cells come along and they gobble up, like Pac-Man. They gobble up the bacteria and stuff. Okay. Most viruses and bacteria reproduce fast at normal body temperature, which is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius, depending on which kind of thermometer you're looking at. Okay. A fever raises this temperature, and that's going to kill some of the pathogens and slow down their reproduction, which means the phagocytes, the white blood cells, have a better chance of gobbling them all up before they can cause serious problems. Okay. And then, again, the summary that you would copy down. If pathogens enter the body, inflammation occurs. White blood cells called phagocytes travel to the areas of the body that are inflamed, and they help clean it up and get rid of the bacteria. Okay, humoral response or humoral response. Humoral refers to body fluids, especially in regard to the immune system. B and T cells are specific immune responses. So this is like the third line of defense. So something has gotten past the physical and chemical and biological barriers of your skin. It has gotten past the white blood cells, and now it's causing problems. So B and T cells are specific kinds of white blood cells. B cells respond to pathogens in the blood and the lymph. So they're floating around and they're gobbling up these pathogens. They also make antibodies that attach to the pathogens and signal for a phagocyte to destroy that pathogen. So basically, imagine like a spy going around and tagging putting some kind of sticker on the back of the bad spies, and then the good spies know who to get rid of, right? That's what the B cells are doing. They're marking the pathogens so that the phagocytes know who to gobble up. T cells destroy infected, damaged, or cancerous cells. I like these guys. Helper T cells are the cells that switch on the B and T cells. So when some kind of infection has occurred or some signal has been sent, they're like, hey, B cell, T cells, wake up. You got work to do. And then the B cells and the T cells go and do their thing. Okay, so B cells produce antibodies against pathogens in the blood and the lymph. Killer T cells destroy body cells infected with pathogens. All right, and that brings us to the immune system in general. The immune system, specific reaction to a pathogen is called an immune response. The immune system includes several organs and systems that carry lymph. You have B cells, killer T cells, and helper T cells. We talked about those. Immunity is the ability of an immune system to launch a rapid attack against a particular pathogen because it remembers it. Okay? Immunity prevents the pathogen from making you sick. So the pathogen gets in because your body has already fought that invader, then it knows what to do and it just does it and you never actually get sick. Immunity develops from having a prior infection with a pathogen or by receiving a vaccination for it. Okay, so here's a video. Let's see, how long is this video? Is this video going to play? Oh, this is 7 minutes. Okay, I'm not going to make you watch this. There's a link there if you want to watch it. It's actually pretty good and it goes through it fairly well. But we're gonna skip it. Okay. So let's talk immunity a little bit. In 2008, I know that was like 12 years ago, but still, it's probably worse now. maybe it's better, but in 2008, the World Health Organization, or the WHO, or the WHO, estimated that 1.5 million children under the age of 5 died from diseases that are preventable with vaccination. 1.5 million people died, children under the age of 5, okay, because they got a disease that we don't have to worry about because of vaccines. Okay, so they live in a country probably without the medical infrastructure to get vaccines, or maybe it's a very poor country and the people just can't get the vaccines because they can't afford it, or the hospitals aren't there, or the doctors aren't there. Either way, that is staggering and frankly, I think terrible. B and T cells left after an infection are called memory cells. And these cells remember how they fought the infection the first time. So like I had chicken pox when I was a kid. I think I was in like 4th grade. I had chicken pox. My body has memory cells that remember how it fought that virus. So I don't have to worry about chicken pox. Okay. I had it. I'm done with it. Right now, I also don't have to worry about polio, measles, mumps, or rubella because I had vaccines for those. Those vaccines are like a training program for my immune system. They take part of the virus and it's killed or deactivated. It's not going to make me sick, but it's enough of the virus to teach my immune system what the bad guy looks like. I kind of like thinking of like a spy movie where there's a bad guy, but you don't know what the bad guys look like. And then someone finds a bad guy and says, hey, the bad guys all wear this uniform. So if you see this uniform, you know it's a bad guy. That's what vaccines do. They teach the immune system, hey, the bad guy looks like this. If you see this, attack it. Okay? So that's all the vaccine is. It imitates an infection to trigger an immune response and teach your immune system how to fight the pathogen. Okay? So what you would write down in your notes. Immunity is the ability to resist a particular pathogen without getting sick from it. Vaccination is deliberate exposure to a weakened or dead pathogen in order to bring about immunity. There you go. So that's what a vaccine is. That's what a vaccine does. They're important. There's a lot of talk about herd immunity. Most herd immunity that we have as city of Charlotte, state of North Carolina, country of the U.S., or continent of North America, we have it because of vaccines. Okay, we don't have it because 100 million people got polio. We have it, that's crazy. That didn't happen. We don't have it because 100 million people got measles or mumps or rubella. We have it because of vaccines. Okay. Now there are religious reasons that people don't get vaccines. I'm not going to fight people about their religion. That's their call. Okay. But it does mean they might need to be a little more careful. Okay. About, certain diseases, especially like chicken pox. Chicken pox is really dangerous for adults. Kids can usually fight it off, but for adults, it's not that. It's pretty tricky. Okay. All right. So that's the end of it. The rest of these notes are kind of review. We've been over it. So this basically ends the unit, and after this, you should be able to answer questions about types of diseases, treatments for diseases. Actually, no, there is one more thing we have to talk about: pandemic and epidemics. that'll be the last video. All right, I'll see you there.